I'm Deon James. I'm the CEO of Dagupan Electric, called Deco for short. It's a small utility based in the north part of Luzon, which is the largest island in the Philippines. And we're a private distribution utility, one of 19 in the Philippines. And we have a franchise to produce electricity or provide electricity to our area that we have to serve. Technically, because we're so many islands and we have a lot of expansion happening right now, solar would be one of the biggest trends that we would like to follow. We hope it's going to take off. But the challenge is one of cost. And that's always the challenge throughout the world, is how do we do something about the costing side of things. So coal still is one of the most stable and one of the most widely available low-cost suppliers in the Philippines. So that has to be looked at as a trend, but solar has the opportunity, and we hope it will take off exponentially because it's good for the environment, it's good for the country's expansion, and we could make use of the sun here. At the moment, we are going to implement 2 huge projects of solar. So we're embedding quite a substantial capacity of solar generation into our generation mix, so that it provides that part of renewable service to the community. The issue is still price, and there's a small impact of price, but we are going to move strongly with solar. Because of the high price of electricity in the Philippines currently, there'll be pressure on the whole industry to bring the prices down. As I mentioned in my talk, Philippines is one of the largest, most expensive, not only in Asia but in the world. So we have to do something about that in terms of continuing the development of the Philippines. So the issue is that coal always comes up as a solution because of the lower cost one. So it's something we have to look at, because what's not factored in is the environmental cost of coal, always. So there's a bit of an issue there, but we are part of the commitment globally to go renewable, so we have to look at ways of doing that. Ideally, it'd be wonderful if we could achieve that, but in the next 30 years, I doubt it. So there will always be a place for coal or any fossil fuel for a while, until we slowly change the environment that coal serves. If people can become independent in terms of electricity generation, smaller systems, then coal will, because coal is very good for a grid and a massive economies of scale system, but for distributed generation, it will not work properly. So we hope that will start taking off, and people will take independence of the grid to some extent. They'll never be able to get rid of the grid because that's cheap. And that will be the way that hopefully the Philippines can move towards more renewable, 100%. We hope, but we're not sure whether we can achieve it. Not soon. It will be a mix for at least 30 years. I think the world will be a mix. And coal will dominate the Philippines for the next 10 years. That's the way I can see it. They're long-term contracts. They're long-term contracts in place. So, and they're cheap contracts. 3 pesos per kilowatt hours. You can't compete with solar at this stage. So solar can't compete against 3 pesos at this stage. It's still too expensive. They're still talking 6, 7. So solar is a long way off that 3 pesos that has been bought at the moment in the market for coal. I really enjoy your events because it gets very good people in. So the good speakers that come and attend the events are always the attraction for coming to it. So the format's good, but the noise is always an issue, the environmental noise. So that's always something we have to worry about in terms of interference. I went to the solar area over there, and it's so noisy, people can't even hear the speakers. So that's something that has to be improved on. But the format of the conference, the content of the conference is very good. So I would commend Dagupan for that.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy coming back and catching up with the organizers as well as the people I've met before. And it's become more and more interesting as I go along, so keep it up.